Welcome back, guys. Well, now we got new articles coming out saying that Northport home prices are seeing the biggest drops in the country. Man, can't catch a break down here in Southwest Florida. It seems like every other week it's either Northport, Cape Coral, Punta Gorda, the usual suspects. They have held off coming into these headlines for quite some time in Northport. I've maintained that they've been holding pretty stable. I think this is a little preemptive where they're coming out and basically saying they're the biggest drops in the country. I am seeing this put all over social media by local news groups, local real estate groups. We'll go through numbers to kind of get a feel of what it actually is. They used April's numbers, April 2024, and basically they recorded a 10% decrease from April 2024 to April 2025. They do not specify what that is, if it's just single family homes, if it's condos, townhomes, manufactureds, everything in there. They also don't specify if it's median sales price or average sales price. So obviously, I decided I'd pull some of the data and also kind of see where's Northport realistically at compared to its 2022 high. So let's jump into numbers here. And real quick, guys, if you enjoy this content, please consider hitting that like button, maybe subscribing to the channel. Helps me out immensely, and I appreciate everybody that already has. Now, after pulling the data, it does look like they're basing this on single-family homes median sales price, because what I pulled from the Florida Association of Realtors, it looks like from April of 24 to April of 25, Northport did see about a 10% decline, with their median sales price going from almost $380,000 down to $345,000. So that is a pretty substantial drop. And through the season, Northport has held up historically well, but let's take a look at the average, and then we'll go to historic highs to historic lows. The average sales price for the same time went from $435,000 down to $416,000. That's a 5% decrease. Again, this is just single family homes that I'm pulling here, guys. But if we take a look at the peak median sales price in Northport, which was July of 2022, it stood at $415,000 for single family homes. And now, according to this in April, it's down to $345,000. Whew! That's a $70K drop in 3 years on the median. 17% decrease. Pretty stiff. And guys, I'm in downtown Punta Gorda. You may have seen this house numerous times on my videos. I've featured it before. They've been trying to sell this thing for a long time. It's back up for sale. I think I'm going to pull it up and see what's going on with that. Okay, so this is 121 Dolly Street, Punta Gorda. I've had this house on the channel quite a few times, guys. I'm going to go through it kind of quick because it's been listed on and off a ton of times. They have painted the house. Used to have a nice fish on the outside and the front. I really liked it. I've been walking by this house for years. That's so interesting. But they have had it listed quite a bit higher than this. I think they're probably getting closer to where they need to be. We will take a look at the price history, but it's got a sad story behind it, because I think it did have a contract on it the last time I looked, and one of the hurricanes did that in. So let me see. A lot of wood in there. Okay. I dig this bathroom, though. I do like that. I love the listing description. New and improved price. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. You guys remember that? I was telling you a year ago, builders were saying, let's have a conversation. These people want to have a conversation. So everyone in the comments that tells me, I have wishful thinking that, I have unrealistic expectations on what buyers should be offering. I don't know. Apparently not. I mean, look at the price drops on something like this. Let's have a conversation. Also, guys, I don't choose what buyers offer. Sorry. But buyers choose what they offer. I try to get them what they're offering, but I don't pick the price. Let's see. Yeah, this was it. It was removed and listed for sale, pending sale at $495, just a mere days before Helene and Milton last year. Unfortunately, they lost that deal. So they had somebody at $495 asking price at one point, but this thing was well over $600,000 in the same year, earlier in the same year. In 2024, this thing was $660. Sold in 2021 for $430, and we're getting pretty close to the asking price, aren't we? So the asking price was $640. Now, whether you feel that was unrealistic or not doesn't change the fact that it's down almost $200,000 at this point. Let me know what you guys think of that property. But wrapping up Northport, I have to say for May of 2025, the average sales price of single-family homes, according to the Florida Association of Realtors, was $423,000, so slightly up from the April numbers that they use in this report. And if you want to know what it was in 2019, just to illustrate pre and post how drastic it's changed, in May of 2019, the average sales price for single-family homes in Northport was $232,000. Now it is $423,000. So even though the median has seen a 17% drop, I'm sure that echoes the same. Average prices are still almost double in Northport what they were compared to 6 years ago. So, I hear a lot of times people are like, yeah, if I sell, I'll still be fine. And if you bought previously, basically before 2021, you're probably going to be okay. In most places, if you bought anywhere in the 2010s, you're still way up. So the equity is still there for people to move if they want to. They're not trapped. Some, like we said, the more recent buyers, that's not the case, unfortunately. Yeesh. You know what, guys? I recently told some friends of the channel that were here looking at places. They were like, hey, how are the mosquitoes? I was like, mosquitoes, they spray. We don't get those. Worst mosquitoes I've ever seen this year. It's probably because I said that. Just getting mauled out here. And I'm on Marion. It's not a very swampy place, but we are close to the water. Getting absolutely killed this season. Hard to really go anywhere without getting eaten up. I don't know if they're not spraying. I'm seeing people complain everywhere about it, but mosquitoes are bad this season. And I've been here 10 years. This is the worst I've had it. I thought we eradicated these things. I guess not. So I got to eat my own words there. Now, with all of this news coming out about Northport, I am finding it interesting that a lot of industry professionals are starting to suggest now, because of the great delisting that has happened, that, and we've talked about this before, that some have insinuated bidding wars are back on the menu. They're coming back around the corner because now there's going to be no inventory for buyers to scoop up. And I come on. And these are industry professionals in Northport, around Charlotte County, around Cape Coral. I'm like, guys, come on now. I mean, I don't know where you could even come to that conclusion. Even if they delisted 25% of the homes in all of these areas, we'd still be overloaded on inventory. So I don't know. And there are some areas where there's up to 50% of homes being delisted. But even here, we would still have enough, I'd say, for like a balanced market in Charlotte County, potentially even Northport, which is, as you guys know, Sarasota County. Northport does stand for Northport, Charlotte, though. So I don't know where this rationale is coming. Some people are kind of lashing out, trying to FOMO buyers right now. Business is down. I get it. But I don't know. I don't particularly like coercion methods. Hello. Oh, it's my wife. Oh, hey. That's my wife. She's not going to comment on this video. She doesn't watch my stuff. Rightfully so. She's so sick of hearing about real estate. That's my wife with my son. That's funny. First time for everything on these videos. But these posts and these marketing, I almost want to say like these manipulation tactics they're trying to use to guilt buyers into buying is blowing my mind. I mean, and they harp on interest rates. They harp on interest rates, but we know it's not interest rates. It's the price of the homes, guys. It's the price of the homes, which are coming down, especially around here. In fact, take a look at this waterfront house that I came across recently. And the owner, unfortunately, in Punta Gorda Isles, is having to sell this thing at a loss. And obviously this is one of the examples where they just recently bought and they're trying to resell. And this is kind of what's happening. So this is one example of the properties I'm referencing, guys. 200 Bel Air Court, asking $675, a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,800 square foot house with boating access. This thing is built in 1984. It's on your standard lot. Zillow's saying it's worth about $640. Let's take a look and wait till you see what they paid for it. Metal roof, I do appreciate that they just come right out and show you, hey, we have a major road here in the backyard. And let me tell you something, that is a major road. That's one of two ways to get into Punta Gorda Isles, and the other way is sort of the back way through Aquiesta. So that is your main entrance to Punta Gorda Isles, right outside
of your pool, unfortunately. Now, it does look like this was remodeled at some point. Obviously, this has not been here. These pictures are not 1984 style. So I don't know when it was done. Maybe when right before they by the barn door. I'm going to say probably right before the last time it was purchased in 2022, because this was all the rage. I'm starting not to see that anymore. But this is kind of becoming a dead giveaway of the early 2020s, late teens. So yeah, we'll get you one more shot. Again, it is waterfront, but like I said, this is the major in and out of Punta Gorda Isles, and it gets very busy during season. So that is going to affect value. With that being said, it is up for sale for $675,000 after attempting to be rented for $7,500 a month. Obviously, guys, that's monthly. I don't believe that's annually. That would kind of be crazy. And it was purchased for $780,000 in April of 2022. 3 years later, the asking price from the sold price has fallen $105,000. Now, we don't know what this is going to sell at, but it went from $431 a square foot, which is basically sailboat water asking price now. This is not sailboat water, obviously. You saw the bridge, to $373. Yikes. Sold in 2017 for $310,000. Those people turned around 5 years later and almost tripled their money at $780. Now, they probably did the renovations, or maybe the purchase. I hope they did the renovations and not the person who owns it now, because if they renovated the house and now they're still taking that kind of loss, wow. But if you look at Zillow's estimate, when it sold at the time, Zillow felt that this house was worth $839,000. So $780 looked like a screaming deal. And geez, not even a few months later, it goes right off a cliff to 666.6. That's ominous and relevant. Oh my God, for that kind of drop. Gains a little more traction, according to Zillow, throughout 23, 24, but now again on the big slide, as most of Punta Gorda Isles is, unfortunately.
So that's what happens, guys, when you buy in the mania, unfortunately, and now you're trying to sell on the downswing. I don't know if we'll see values coming back to, well, I guess that person doesn't think so either, to support what they want anytime soon, or else they'd just wait and sell like a lot of these delisters are. But there's enough people that are not going to delist. They are going to adjust and they are going to sell because they don't know what is happening, like this property, if it sells. And it's just going to prolong the comps ever coming back to what some sellers unrealistically think their home should go back to at this point. I mean, I know people that their house that they bought for $200,000 in the 90s here on the water went to $1 million, $1.2 million, and now it's still $800,000. It's still probably worth about $758, but they want that $1.2 million, and they're waiting till they get that $1.2 million. And I don't know the timeline for that ever returning. This is going to turn into a long home tour video because this house is still on the market across the street here. And I put this on the channel quite some time ago. This was flood damaged substantially. So let's see what's going on with that one too.
Now, I've featured this home on the channel before, guys. Chastain Street here, 3 beds, 2 baths, 1,200 square feet, asking $295. This has been listed for months. This is a flood damaged home, which you will see here very shortly. There it is. And I hope that's not how it still looks like in there. I would really pray that this is not what the contents of this home currently look like. This was listed, I want to say, 6 months ago. I did a walk by on this, and yes, the AC unit was still flipped. So some people actually might remember this house. What is the price history on this? Just so you guys can see where I am, that is Chastain Street. I am about 2 blocks away from the water in Gilcrest, so it's no wonder it got wet. So as I suspected, this was listed in December. I think I walked by this house around January, and yes, it has not changed its price at all. It was $295 then. It's $295 now, 7 months later, almost to the day. So what do you guys think about this property? Let me know in the comments below.
Big question is what's going to unlock this market? What's shaming people on social media is going to do it, guys. No, the fact of the matter is 40% of homeowners right now have no monthly payments. They own their house outright. Something will come along to unlock this situation because banks need to make money. Banks need to issue mortgages. And when 40% of people don't have one. And they probably don't want that number to stay that way. So I don't know what it is, but that's going to need to come down. I am seeing adjustable rate mortgages return. I don't know. Always a scary prospect to me. Some of them are like 7 years before they adjust. So might be a good situation for some people. I don't know, but I get nervous whenever we start talking about adjustable rate mortgages. Some of the deals I've seen, I mean, we're talking like 3.75% to start. It's not bad. It's not bad. You got 7 years to figure it out. I don't know. I've never been a proponent for them, but even I've looked at some of these and been like, oh, 7 years. But that's another way they're trying to spur some more buyer activity. Doesn't seem to be, I mean, the mortgage end of things, guys, I don't know if I got a skeeter on me, doesn't seem to be moving the needle like buy downs, adjustable rates, things like that. Isn't getting it done. And as you guys know from the builders, it's really price drops. It's pricing. Things have to move price-wise, whether they're resale. Doesn't matter what concessions you're offering, it seems like right now. I mean, they're a bonus if somebody can get them. You know, people are going to take advantage of them, don't get me wrong. But that doesn't seem to be what's incentivizing anyone to pull the trigger on a housing purchase. It's price. So, you know, it's always going to come back to that at the end of the day. We got a house for sale here. Love this color. Oh my goodness. What a nice color. Like a, I don't know, a salmon? Guess let's pull this guy up, see what's going on too.
Okay, I love the color of this house. What do we got here? 725, 3 beds, 2 baths, 1,700 square feet. Woo! Built in the 40s. Just did a $25,000 price cut. Well, not just did one in June. 700 grand. This better have a pool. This is also right down the street from Gilchrist Park, right where I showed you the Chastain house was, the flooded house we went through. Don't know if this house was flooded. Looks like it was probably okay. Looks decently elevated. Looks nicely updated, to be honest. For a 1940s house, this thing is pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. I dig it. I'm never a big fan of tile vanities, but some people like them. We got tankless. Okay. The porch is killer. I mean, and you can see the park down there, which is kind of cool. God, I love that color. I really do. Now, this lot is a little oversized. The standard lot is usually about 10,000 square feet down here. This is 11,000, so no pool. No pool. Whew. Okay, this is 11,000 square feet, so it's basically the size of a corner lot you'd get somewhere else. Yeah, right? That's kind of what it looks like. So the sales history on this guy is super interesting. 725 currently. Obviously, they did a $25,000 price drop from listing in April. The home had previously been a rental, so it looks like they were trying to do seasonal rents here. I would hope they're seasonal rents at those prices. For the previous 6 months, couldn't get it done, decided let's throw it up for $750 and see what happens. It's not getting moved yet. It was last listed in 2020 for $545, and they actually got a pending sale on it in February. But we all know what happened in March of 2020, and unfortunately, this did not sell, so the listing was removed in June. So many things fell through at that time period. It was absolute chaos, as you guys well know. But before that, it had last sold for $475 in 2019. They are now attempting to get $725. I do believe there was a lot of updates done to this, but you can go back and see this thing over the years. Just the prices vary so wildly. I don't know. What do you guys think of that house for a price of $725? Let me know as well.
Well, I'll tell you, it's nice to get a breeze in the hat. It feels good when the wind blows through. The other one's completely sealed off. This one's got the little mesh back there. So this might have to be my summer garb. I don't know. We'll see. But that's all I got for today, guys. If you like this video, give me a like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.